I love my connection to nature, being in the presence of the earth, seeing its beauty, feeling its stillness. It feels like a direct connection to God. The wind, the trees, the ocean, the rivers, all of it just reminds me that I am so held and supported and deeply intertwined with something much greater than I can even comprehend. When I meditate, I envision my roots extending deep into the earth, reaching the mycelium networks and connecting with the unseen threads that bind us all. My prayers, my energy, my vibrations pulsating into the collective, joining every soul in meditation, amplifying a high frequency wave of love across the world. And after my meditation, I pray. May my mind think beautiful thoughts, thoughts that inspire, thoughts that open pathways to brilliance. May my lips speak words of truth, wisdom, and kindness, words that uplift. May my throat stay open, fearlessly in its authenticity. And lastly, may my heart forever guide me, unshakenly, deeply rooted in its trust. Grounding myself in the soul of new territory, embracing the unknown with open arms. This life is so precious, so fleeting, and yet so infinite. I feel God everywhere, in the ocean waves, in the golden light, in the laughter, in the quiet, in every breath. I remember I am here, I am alive, and I am free. Okay, so we're going to the waterfall, and we got so lucky because these people are so nice and brought us up the mountain. It was a very, very steep road, and I literally hitchhiked for my first time. I went like that, and she said, "Get in." It saved us, and we're now driving down the mountain. Woohoo! Adventure!
Yeah, that's quite the walk, huh?
Yeah?
That excursion over the bridge was life-changing.
Go Tarzan, go!
Watch your ass, dude.
Alright, Jeremiah, give us a little life advice here really quick.
You want to make sure that after you wipe your ass, you wash your hands before you eat.
I love that.
That's my golden wisdom for today.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you're single for Valentine's Day, it's your fault. Just gotta get rid of that unresolved trauma, otherwise it's just more years of being single. I'm just joking, I'm single too. But still, get rid of that unresolved trauma.
I am soaked. Like, what? I was not expecting this at all. I think it's the humidity for sure, because I hiked Hanakapeai in Kauai for my birthday, and it did not feel like this. Like, look at least I looked ripped. One thing that I really love is how the dirt here is just really red. It's just like red clay. That's how you know you're in the real shit.
Get those vapes away.
We finally made it. Look at these little fuzzies. And there's a moment that comes where you finally realize that you've arrived, not to a place, but to a feeling, to space within everything that is good, to where peace is no longer something to chase, but something to cultivate, something that you practice, something that just simply exists inside of you. I look around and I love the people in my life. I love the fleeting moments and the interactions with strangers. I love the way the world moves. I love to see kindness of the passbyers and the laughter of children and the synchronicities that remind me that I'm exactly where I need to be. There was a time where I longed for this feeling, when I thought happiness, peace, and love were things that I had to find somewhere outside of myself. But now I see I was never chasing a place or a person. I was chasing a way of being. And this is what freedom feels like. Not in the absence of chaos, but in the presence of trust, in knowing that everything is unfolding as it should, that I don't have to seek, just soften. And that softening, I arrive again and again and again. Alright, so along the journey of my sobriety and just dealing with all the changes and the shifts that I've been going through since 2024 to now, the number one thing that has been constant is change. And I've been traveling so much. I'm so eternally grateful for that. And three things actually, that have completely been my grounding element, been the things that have kept me here, in a sense, where I feel like life is moving so fast all the time, and it's almost moving so fast that my body can like barely keep up with what's going on. So without these three practices, I truly feel like I would just be chaotic in my mind. I don't know why, but these three practices have been completely life-changing for me, just implementing them in my daily for the past year and a half now. And yeah, I would love to share that with you guys, as it's something that if you are even just starting your own journey in sobriety, in a new phase of your life, that can help you embody this new version of yourself and also just keep you grounded. So number one would be the meditation. Meditation is so important. I look at it as almost like turning on a switch in our minds, and without turning on that switch in the mornings, it's almost like we're walking around life being unconscious about our thoughts, about our emotions, about what's happening around us. So if you take just even 10-15 minutes to start off every morning before you do anything, before you look at yourself, you try to really just set the tone for your mind to bring conscious awareness into the space. It's like turning on a light switch. And I've been doing it so much lately that I literally feel on the days if I miss something or like I'm on a rush and I don't have time to meditate, like I'm making a thing to meditate no matter what time I can do it, even if it's before bed. But there's something about it that when you start practicing this daily, it literally just allows you to have so much expansion mentally and be able to just take things in a more aware state of mind. And that's literally what it's for. And I know it sounds so cliche, like meditate in the morning, but this has been transformative. And if you're able to just keep it going, the better that you get at just being the observer of your thoughts, the better that everything is gonna be in the real world. It's like even with breath work and the practice within breath work, it's like everything we practice inside of the session is able to be implemented in our daily lives. Same thing with meditation. And so that is number one. Number two is just moving our bodies. Like having some type of movement practice. It doesn't always have to be a gym workout. It doesn't have to be this rigorous thing that you're doing all the time. I love sometimes just stretching. I've also been implementing so many new hobbies that I love to learn and love to play with. Right now I'm nunchucking and doing a lot of acro yoga. And I love Pilates. I'm like actually a certified Pilates instructor, so I love to do my Pilates flow for my core and my booty every day. That makes me feel fulfilled. And number three is ending my day in just gratitude and prayer. Like that is, if I can do these three things every day, no matter how shitty my day might be,
I know that if I'm able to do these three things, they hold me in such a way that makes me feel so good and like I've accomplished what I've needed to accomplish in my day. And the prayer is just also a way of taking time to connect with Source, to connect with God, to connect with Spirit. And it's a time of gratitude. Like, I grew up Christian, and I grew up in church, and I grew up with different ways of prayer that sometimes didn't resonate with me. And as I grew older, I really started to become more interested in finding different ways of prayer that felt resonant with my heart. And I finally found that, and I've been in a deep prayer practice for the past 2 years. And what I can really say is that it's been, again, so transformative. That's why it's one of my top 3 things to do a day, because as you practice speaking out loud to this Spirit, Source, God, and for me, it's like, first and foremost, prayer is not something that we go to for just asking for things. It's a moment of gratitude. That's like truly how I learned to pray in a way that felt good for me. It's like taking the time to even see that through the pain, through the grief, through all of the things that are happening in the world, to still be able to find the silver lining and say thank you, because we don't know what God's plan is. So if we're able to just stay in a state of gratitude, not only is it elevating our vibration and our frequency naturally by staying in the state, but it really affects our mentality. It really affects our mental states. So I believe that if you have a really good practice of being grateful, and that's a state of prayer, that truly is a state of prayer, whether you want to call it that or not, being in a state of gratitude and saying thank you to higher power is something that is so profound. And the deeper that you get with that, the more that you can just fill your spirit up with just being able to see life in a different lens, by being able to see life in a deeper way. Because if we can't get to the baseline level of being able to be grateful for what we have now, we're never going to be fulfilled when the time comes and we get what we have been wanting. And so in the indigenous lineage that I've been studying prayer through for the past 2 years, they teach that prayer is through a wheel of life and age. And in the first quarter of life, which would be by the time you're born to your late 20s, you are practicing the prayer of gratitude. And that means that you embody the full essence of what being grateful is. That it comes out of just being a thought and thinking like I'm grateful and repeating it. It actually becomes a way of being, a way of embodying it, to the point of where, regardless of a situation that happens to you, regardless of whether you want to identify things as good or bad, you're still going to be able to find the gratitude and the lessons within those things. And that's what that means, the embodiment of gratitude. And once you accomplish that, you move on to the next prayer, which is usually around the age from 30 to 50. And that is the prayer of clarity. And that basically is praying for clarity. And at these stages of life, you're usually in a state of clearing, of clarifying, of getting clear with who you are, what your mission is, and what you're here to do. And so if you think about it, I definitely feel like I'm in that prayer of just clearing, clarity, shedding, letting things go, and coming into who I truly am. And then the prayer after that is the prayer of unity, which is from 60 to like 70 or 80. And that's just the prayer of unification, of being around family, of being around community. And if you think about it, when you think of people around that age, maybe our parents, family members that are that age, you kind of understand that that's the age that they're at, that they want to be surrounded by loved ones and family and in unification with community and family. And then the last prayer at the end of the wheel of life would be the prayer of love. And it would be the prayer of when you're 80 to the moment you die, and maybe even like 70 to the moment you die. It's all about just completely embodying unconditional love. And if you think about it, people that are elderly, that's like the state of life that they're at. They're just at a state of unconditional love. None of the shit that they ever worried about when they were younger even mattered. So it's really beautiful. I love having the opportunity to deepen into this style of prayer. It's also a prayer of elements. So it's like gratitude is fire, clarity is water, air is unity, and the earth is love. And so just deepening into each one of these and having that structure for me daily has been just so transformative, and has been able to deepen my connection with my spirit, with God, and with my prayer, and with being able to surrender and hold myself through the connection with the divine as I go through all of these shifts, and as I'm traveling, and as I'm creating grounding, no matter where I am in the world and no matter who I'm around, and just creating a safe space for myself. So hope that helps you, and see you on the next video.